So now we have understood, you understood the private IP address and public IP address. Elastic IP address also we discussed. I'll show you the demo a little bit later. Now you understand the what is a key pair. So you get a private key. AWS will have a public key, and this while creating a EC2 instance, they will copy the key in the some AMI the virtual machines in the instance, and using that you can access it. Now the default there is no password as such, but you can enable it. How can you enable it? Let me do that rather than talking. So here, look at my screen, guys. All of you, can you see my screen? Hello. Yeah. So now you have to log in. And this is the Linux stuff, more or less is Linux stuff. This has nothing to do with AWS. So this is the Ubuntu, okay? And I will go to modify SSH file. So you will find this file in SSH EC2 directory. And this is the file, okay? Now you just type in Google also how to enable the password authentications for Linux box. You'll find hundreds of articles for it, but in fact you can see that. So this file you have to modify, and here you have so many SSH related configurations. Need to locate the password one. So P for password, and somewhere here it is. See here, the password authentication is set to be true by default in the AMIs, all the preferred AMIs. So here you can set yes, but I see there's some warning message, read only. So why? Because this can be modified only with a sudo root user. So here again I go to password, which is somewhere downside. Let me show you. Here it is. And now from no to yes. Now this is done. Okay. Now after that, you have to restart these services. System ctl restart SSHD. Okay, there's a sudo required, so mind it, sudo, done. And after that, you have to reset the password. So sudo, so I'll become a root or something like that. Sudo passwd ubuntu. I'm resetting the password, and here I'm saying here Rajesh123, Rajesh123. Remember the password was 123, 123. Done. Now I'll go and quit. Now last time I was trying with the key. This time I'll try without a key. See that here. And then here, sorry, I is not needed anymore. Here. And you're asking password Rajesh123. And I think I wrote wrong password. Done. So this is the way you can enable that password authentication for the Linux also. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello? Yeah, Windows password you have seen the demo already. Okay, now you understand the security firewall, security groups. So understand that, guys, security groups is maintained by AWS from external access. Okay, so if you have an internal access, see the security group, the one which you are seeing here or which you have used it, that is from the network perspective. This is a network security group. Now, security group, which is I'm saying is like a firewall, but firewall you have seen somewhere else also. In Windows also you find the firewall, and Linux also you'll find the firewall. So there's a two kind of firewall. One is like OS level firewall, another one is a network level firewall. So security group is a network level firewall, whereas the OS level firewall will be also there. But right now the instance which you used it has a disabled one. So I hope you'll not make a mistake. So sometime if you have a OS level enabled, then you have to disable that one or make a port exceptions accordingly. So are you clear with this concept? Security group, which is a network firewall. Make sense? All of you? Hello? Am I audible, guys? Yeah. Okay. And one more thing, if you have any doubts or questions and clarification a little bit, please ask for it so that will help you. Okay. So here, look at this here. Amazon EC2 security group, which is basically you can security group for EC2 classic, default security group for the VPC also you can set it up. Creating your own security group also is possible. So yeah, these are the part of it. So some of the facts of EC2 we should know. This will help you to understand the services a little bit better. Scale capacity as per your computing requirement, you may change it. Pay only for the capacity that you actually use it. You can choose anything Linux or Windows. Deploy across AWS region and availability region for reliability, and we'll do that. And we can use the tag, the one which you have used, name tag. So you can add as many tags actually to manage your AWS resources accordingly. So tag is for everywhere. Now, while launching, you have to determine the region which you did it, launch using that AMI, that done. A type you have seen it, there you can select the CPU, RAM, memory, storage, and network and all, and related stuff like security groups, tags, key pair, volumes, and all. So we have done it. Again, there's some permissions about that launch permission. So I'll just avoid this stuff. As of now, it's not needed. This also I'll just avoid it. Okay, so this is the important one. I would ask you all to look at it. So guys, when you launch any instance, first the workflow is for the instance is pending. So it will got into the pending status. After that pending, it will get into the start status. And after the start, you can stop it. Okay, you can stop it. And if you stop it, you can terminate it. By the way, starting container also you can directly terminate it. That's not a problem. So from the pending, again it will get into the running, and running to shutdown to terminate it. And if you have a running, then you can restart also, rebooting and stuff like that. So these are the things you can do. That where you can do that, let me show you that place. And that is here. Look at this. There are so many instances we have right now, and I'll select one of this and see here, stop, start, reboot, all these options you have. So right now only stop is enabled because it's running, and reboot and terminate. If you stop it, you'll have a start option and remaining things. So yeah, this workflow you need to remember all the time. Are you comfortable with this workflow of the virtual machines? Yeah. Okay. Now, I have shown you AMIs, you can get it from the marketplace also, and you can buy it for your software. So you can buy that software from there. You can bring your license also. So many things can be done. Now, this is very interesting. Uh, any instance metadata, if you want to know, look at the right side. Metadata like AMI IDs, instance ID, or stuff like that. If you want to get it, you can get the metadata from here also. For example, let's say if you go to here and see that these all are metadata details. These all are metadata. But programmatically, how do we get it? So there's one fixed URL for it, and if you query this, you'll get it. See here. So to view all categories of instance metadata from within the running instance, use the following URL. So that IP address and the latest and metadata, you can type it, and then you can get the latest metadata. Now this IP address is fixed on Linux instance. You can use same IP address, and then curl and get, you can do that, and you can get the metadata. So this is the way to get it through. You can browse in the windows, you can curl through the Linux and stuff like that, and you can get the metadata. Okay, now can be passed to the instant at launch, can be configured, can be used to perform common automated configuration tasks, and run a script after the instance starts. So what exactly this is? So this is basically, I'm talking about the cloud init here. So let's say if you want to start some script, where let's say you want to start the VMs with certain script, then you can use the cloud init configuration. So that you have to do in the MIs only. But one thing also you can do that, and that's called user data. This is where I'm talking about. So let me show you here. Go to machines and launch an instance again one more time. And this time I am this for the sake of showing you the demo. I'm showing you here, and I'll go for one here, one machine. Now, guys, here you have so many options, but I would like you to stress one options for all of you, and that's called user data. Are you able to see that? Yeah. This is the option I'm talking about. So here, what you can do in this. So in this, you can run and write any script or command. So that will run while booting up the your EC2 instance. So for example, let's say you can say, let's say it's a Ubuntu, right? So apt get install, let's say Apache 2, something like that, or systemctl start Apache 2, something like this. So all this command, or maybe you can run some command like tmp and script.sh. So like that, you can run some commands here. So this is called user data. So this user data will run when you create an instance, and it will do the pre-configuration. Here you can call the Ansible script also, Puppet script also, or Chef Solo and all. So you can call this. Many things it can be called. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. User data script, you can use it during the boot time, and it will help you to configure the machines. Remember that this is for the Linux, this is for the Windows. I mean, any script, any commands, it can be done. Okay, so that is a things. Now the question is, how do we get the user data? Let's say if you want to query the user data, so the IP address latest and slash user data. If you do that, you will get this. By the way, you have to run in the instance itself. Okay, remember, if you run it from outside from your browser, it will not work. So it has to be run through the instance only and get going. Are you understanding now? All of you? Which one? Then if your EC2 instance is a Windows, then inside of Windows you have to run that. Let's say if you are in a Linux server, then you have to use the curl or get or something. But you have to run this URL. This is a fixed URL, okay? But you have to run from that particular resources so you can get that information. Yeah. So now instance type. This is a pretty huge, guys. Okay, I don't want you to get lost here. Instance type means the CPU and RAM combination. So primarily, that AWS has created this instance type based on the certain criteria, such as micro instances or general purpose utility, compute optimized, GPU instances, memory optimized, and storage optimized. Again, so many options you'll have it. Look at this here. This is a general purpose Mac, T4G, T3, T3A, and T2, and so on. Compute optimized, you see this C, stuff like that, HP, Here you have a memory optimized, and here you have accelerated computing. So yes, this is so many types, and keep coming and getting deprecated also. So right now we are using only general type. So we have used the T1 actually, okay, and M1, and also general purpose we use on this thing for our regular. Okay, how to create instances we have shown you. So that's there. Now, how do we do that? So here, reserved instances. You don't have to do anything right now with a reserved instance. Just you need to know actually when you reserve the instances, you can make a payment for the 3 years or 1 year, depends on that, or no upfront, or requires a commitment. So something like that. So let's say if you pay upfront, then you will get up to 68% of the discount. I mean, this may change also. This may vary, depends on the which year you are saying. So it may a little bit up, down, depends on that. Partial upfront, if you do that, a partial upfront means if you make a payment of 50% now and 50% later, something like that, then 60% discount up to that. If you reserve the instance but you don't pay for it, you'll get a 30%, and require a commitment for 1 to 3 years. That is there. Now here these are the same thing in terms of reserved instance. So here let's not make it anything right now. Rather than let me show you some options here, which will be more friendly for you. So let's say if I want to purchase a reserved instance RI. So here OHI, and now I'll go and click here reserved instance. Okay, now you see that you do not have any reserved instance. Now purchase a reserved instance. Now here I'll select what kind of purchase I want to make it. So platform Linux, what are the tenancy, dedicated, default? Dedicated will be very costly. Offering class, like what is upfront, convertible or standard. Convertible means you want to change that in future, you can do that. Standard, you cannot do that. What are the type of instance, how many terms, 1 month to 12 months, or 12 months to 36 months, and payments option, no upfront, partial upfront, all upfront also, and search for it. Now these are the options which you have come. You see that T3 micros, if you go for it, it will cost you $53 for, I think I selected 1 month to 12 months. Okay, so this is the pricing which you have. Now if you want to buy it, little bit scroll right side, add to cart, make a payment, and then you can create this instance. So like that you can do that. Right now I'm not doing it because it's just a waste of money for it. Okay, so this is the reserve instance. So like this. Let's say if you want to understand the pricing, again is subject to change. Here on demand is more costly, lesser than on demand reserved. Spot is lesser than reserved. So like that. So yeah, on demand instance, the default type, which is the most expensive option, no commitment. Prices vary by AWS region, billed on an hourly basis. Now reserve instance less expensive compared to on demand, require a commitment up to the 1 to 3 years, has an upfront cost, lower hourly rate. RI can be sold on the AWS marketplace. Means this, if you bought it and if you don't need it, you can sell it at AWS marketplace and you can commit for utilizations. Now these are the cost. You see that here for RI. This is the commitment. Again, this pricing is only for your understanding purpose. It's not like this is the same pricing you'll have now. It keeps changing, depends on the each year. Spot instance, yes, we discuss about unused AWS capacity, very cheap hourly rate, not guaranteed based on now bid. Idle for raw processing power grid, like application, highly scriptable. So how do you get the spot? So let me show you spot options also. So you get comfortable with it. So go to the dashboard, instances, launch instances. Okay, select any AMIs for the time being. And here, if you see that, select the type. And here you see, do you see this? Are you? So this is the sorry. So this is the way you can request for the top instances. So current price is sorry. So current price is going on this one. You can set the maximum price and then you see that if you can win this and get it. So this is the spotting. This spot compute is not guaranteed actually, because if someone outbid you, then you will have to lose that processing unit. So then you must be thinking like, where and all I can use this spot. So spot, you can use it in a place where you want huge compute at a dirt cheap rate, and you don't need a storage. So even though that is lost, you will not have any problem. So for example, satellites image we received from the satellites that need to be processed, and for that lots of images has to be processed in very less span of time. So you just don't want to store that image, just you want to process it, get some information out of it, and then information is for forecasting the weather and all. It can be used for it. So those are the places you can use the spot instance. You bid for it, you got it, processing happened within a few hours, and you got the results. You don't care about the data and all. So that's where you can use the spots. Are you able to understand that, all of you? Yeah, after a few hours of this, you will lose that instance automatically. So what you need to do, you have to, if you want to continue that, you have to overbid him. So like, so this is the spot instance and stuff like that. Now, I must show you some more options here, and that is called elastic IPs. Okay, so here all these kind of instances which we have it reserved, dedicated. Right now we don't need to do that because lots of things is just a waste of resources, but also you don't need to know in the development certification program. So one of the things which you have to be worry about is like elastic IP address. You should know. So here, this is the place where we have no elastic IP address. And if you remember that I said, if you stop the instance, you lose the IP address. So let's say this is the IP address for Linux here. Just read the last two lines, 70. Okay. So now if I stop that, I'll get a different IP address. So what to do? So let me buy one elastic IP address. So elastic IP address, I'm buying it, allocating one. This is for pool, and tag and all, you can do that. And here I did this. So here I got this one elastic IP address. I'll just name it Rajesh. Okay, so it's a public IP address only, but it's a permanent, it will not change. So this IP address I bought, it will never change. Now what we'll have to do that, you go to the instance, and here lets me stop the Linux. Remember 70 is the last one. Okay, look at this. So 70 is the last one. I stop the instances. Yeah, just a second. Yeah, so here what I did, I stopped the instances. See that, did you see that this public IP address has disappeared? And you see that IP address of private is still remain. Now what we do in this case, if I restart it, I'll get a new IP address. What to do? So I'll just start it. Okay, look at this. Last one, anyone remember what was the ending with? 70. So now you see that, now you got a different one. Now what to do? So to overcome these issues, to still coming. So to overcome this issue, what to do? Rajesh Linux, just remember that. So I have reserved this IP address forever, and just go here, and here I say action. Don't allocate one more time. Action and associate. Okay, associate. Now which instance you want to associate? So here you have to go Rajesh instance, Rajesh Linux, and done. Now you see that. Go to the instances, and you see that, refresh Rajesh Linux. See here. Did you see that? Different. This is the elastic IP address. So if this is done, even though restart, stop, start, keep it you know, in a stopping mode, it will IP address will not change. But you know, this IP address is free as long as that you are running the instance. If you stop the instance, this will start paying for it, the charging for it. Are you understanding now? So what to do? Because it's a paid service, I'll let it be for some time and then I will delete it. Okay, so that's one thing. Now guys, one more thing I want you to learn about it, and that's called uh, auto scaling. This is important. And there is one more features which we have, that's called load balancers. Okay, so these two features we need to learn now. So let me start this auto scaling and load balancer, which is a part of the EC2 only. So let me go ahead and talk about it. So I'm just locating my PPTs. Yeah. So now let's talk about the auto balances. I mean auto scaling and load balancers. So guys, these are the three elements which we need to understand, which is called load balancers, auto scaling, and CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a separate service out of EC2, okay? But CloudWatch need to be discussed. Why here? Why? Because of CloudWatch only, auto scaling and load balancer is working. Okay. So load balancer, which I have shown you, where is this options? You should go for, here is the load balancer, and here you have auto scaling. Okay, are you seeing this thing, right? All of you? Yeah. So now let's understand this. So guys, first let's little bit discuss about the CloudWatch. I'm not teaching you CloudWatch now in detail. Why? Because I have a separate session for it. But just at a high level, let's say there's a thousands of services on in AWS. Now the question is, how do we monitor it? How do we monitor it? And just to monitoring that those services, we have a one service, dedicated service, that's called CloudWatch. Okay, CloudWatch. So this I will use that to monitor many services. But right now, because of this, the scaling, auto scaling, and load balancer will work. So look at this here. Basic monitoring is free in the CloudWatch, but if you go for the detailed monitoring, then you'll have to pay for it. Okay, so detailed monitoring means alarms and millions of API requests and all. So you'll have to pay for it. Okay, using the CloudWatch, you can set alarms and alerts. You can also get it notified by SES and SNS. Now, SES and SNS is a email service and notification service, which I will teach you anyways. Now, you can also do the some custom monitoring also, and it can be integrated with auto scaling. It can be integrated with many other services like load balancers also, and so on. So it's a CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a monitoring service of AWS. CloudWatch only monitor all the services of AWS. Now look at this here. So this triad of services has to be used in conjunction. That means these all are interrelated. So see that here, auto scaling, load balancers, and CloudWatch. All these three is working in a sync actually. So load balancing also required the CloudWatch. Auto scaling also required a CloudWatch for it. So now for the load balancer, basically balance the loads of the multiple servers. So for that balancing, they need the latency information from the CloudWatch. Now, if you see that CloudWatch execute as a policy for auto scalings to scale up and down, and also auto scaling can inform the elastic load balancing accordingly. So now let's start with load balancer. I think you know that what is a load balancing, all of you? Are you comfortable with the load balancer?
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.